we have, I think, really a great lineup of people who have some great things to share. This is a great event. I know you woke up this morning and probably, I know the first thing you thought was, can I wear sweatpants to this event? Uh, well, what happens here stays here, so that's up to you. But we're glad that you could join us in whatever way possible, um, and from afar, which is really terrific. Um, I want to thank Wayne. He's one of our many volunteers. This is a big day about volunteers. I also want to congratulate Darlene Rezzarossi for putting this event together. There are a lot of moving parts and a lot of logistics, and she's done a terrific job. I would like to welcome Matt Netto. This will be his first Andrus Awards event. It's funny, we have an internal newsletter, and I opened it up this morning, and there was a welcome to Nat Meadow in the staff changes and additions section of the newsletter. And then I scrolled down, and someone else's name was there that I worked with quite closely. Kathleen Connell was acknowledged today for 20 years of service at AARP. So Kathleen, congratulations on that. In those years, you have worked with so many volunteers, and under your leadership, they have done so much for so many in Rhode Island. You are a state treasure, and it's my pleasure to introduce you this morning as we honor Tia Segalinsky. Kathleen?
Thank you, John. And it appears that this jerry rig that we've got is going to work. In spite of all the prep and all the testing, for some reason, my phone is not working, or my sound is not. And I'm a speaker. So what do you do when you're a speaker and you don't know sign language and the machine won't work? Well, the ever resourceful came up with the situation we had. I'm going to cut short my remarks because this is pretty distracting. I will have so much to say about the wonderful person we honor today that we don't need to miss any of it because of a tech glitch. I do want to say, as John Martin said, this is our highest volunteer award, and it's an annual event we look forward to, along with the end of the year, each year. Of course, this year, we look forward to the end of the year, period. Celebrate. And the awardee this year really follows in the footsteps of our founder, who was an extraordinary woman, Ethel Percy Andrus, for whom the award is named, and who started the National Retired Teachers Association, which was the starting point for AARP. She was a woman who believed that everyone needed an opportunity to live a productive and rewarding life. And to that end, when she saw something that needed to be done, she did it. The National Retired Teachers Association grew and became AARP, the huge organization with which we're affiliated now. We have accomplished a lot, and we have a lot ahead of us. And to get there, we are totally dependent on our wonderful volunteers. People like Tia, like so many others, including on the call our previous Andrus winners. And of course, without our staff, we never pull any of this off. So I have special praise today for Darlene and for John Martin. I also want to give my personal warmest congratulations to Tia, whom I've known for many years and respected greatly for all that she does for so many, AARP and many others you'll hear later. So congratulations, Tia and Ken, on getting off so you can enjoy the rest of the call.
Thank you, Kathleen. It's good to know that you have everything under control there in Middletown, and you did just fine, despite the challenges. When people talk about Ethel Percy Andrus, I recall something written about her by our CEO, Joanne Jenkins. I'd just like to share with you what Joanne wrote not too long ago, because it so captures Ethel's spirit. She was many things to many people: a teacher, a patriot, a mentor, a leader, a visionary, a trendsetter, a disruptor, an advocate, an innovator, and a voice for older adults struggling to get by. More than anything, she was a catalyst. Our founder believed deeply in the power of individuals to improve their own lives and to lead social change, making life better for others. In these times, it seems to me that what she stood for resonates now more than ever. There are many in great need during these challenging times, and there are so many who are stepping up to make their lives better. And to all of our volunteers who are with us through the good years and the not so good years, we appreciate it, and we're delighted that you join us in our work in Ethel's spirit. Thank you very, very much. A couple of people that have joined us that I do want to recognize. Senator Jack Reed was to have joined us. You know, things are a little hectic right now in Capitol Hill in Washington, so the senator at the last minute was called away. Aaron Arkin from his staff is on the call this morning, I believe. Others who are taking part: Vivian Spencer, who's representing Senator Sheldon Whitehouse from the General Assembly, representing Tia's district and other Aquidneck Islanders, Representative Terry Denise Cortvin, Representative Lauren Carson, and Senator James Vesey, and Senator Lou DePalma, who is with us. We have had so much support from the General Assembly, particularly around caregiving legislation and other changes that have had big impacts on 50+ Rhode Islanders, that we're glad that you joined us today. And we look forward to seeing you at the State House. You'll see those volunteers dressed in red. They're hard to miss. And they will be keeping you up to date on what's important to us and the 131,000 Rhode Islanders that we represent. So it's time to introduce a very special guest now. Suzanne Laramie is joining us. She is a concert pianist with the Newport Musical Festival. Just very briefly, her background: she was born into a family of amateur musicians in Enid, Oklahoma. Suzanne, I've been to Enid, Oklahoma. She grew up in Tulsa. She received a bachelor's degree in piano from Oklahoma City University, and then her master's in piano at the University of Kansas. Now, Suzanne, I'm a Missouri graduate, so we'll just put our rivalry aside for a moment. And we are very, very pleased you're here to perform. While Suzanne was working in the financial industry, she still found time to pursue her great passion of music. And she performed in competitions and in recitals and concerts all across the country. And we're very, very pleased to have her here. She also, notably, is also the president of the board of trustees for the Newport Music Festival. So we're very pleased to have her with us. Suzanne, the Zoom stage is yours.
Thank you, John. I want to offer my congratulations to Tia. Wonderful, but not entirely a surprise because you've been an incredible volunteer and supporter of the music festival for many years. And we've seen your work, we've seen your dedication, but congratulations on this honor. It's wonderful. Thank you. And I'm so pleased that Darlene asked me to play for you just a little musical offering as to celebrate your honor, and for us to all celebrate Happy Hanukkah to those of you who are celebrating. This is the time where we let light into darkness, and let's all let our light shine. Even though we are in Zoom mode, I think it's so important that we keep our hopefulness, our all of our happiness, and so I'm very happy to be here. So the first thing I'll play for you, it's from a suite by Franz Liszt, which is, as you know, one of my favorite composers. He's generally known for writing kind of virtuosic type bombastic pieces, but this piece is completely unlike anything that he has ever written, really. He composed it for his granddaughter, Daniela, and he premiered it on her birthday, which happened to be Christmas Day in 1881. And so this piece is based on an old Provençal tune. And so he uses the tune and he kind of weaves other things around, in and around it. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
John, you're muted. Sorry.
I am so sorry.
There you are.
I clicked and then I guess I double clicked and clicked the microphone back off. I should know better. Sorry about that. It's my pleasure now to introduce Megan Hookey. She is a great friend of the Rhode Island State Office. She's joining us from afar. Megan serves all of the volunteers across the country in our efforts to serve and to grow and to really be the face of AARP. You know, my business is a little bit about brand, and I always say, you know what our brand is? It's not our logo, it's not our slogan. It's how people feel when they meet us in person. And our volunteers know that, and they always step up in a big way. They get great guidance and training from the national office and from the state staff. Megan is a big part of that. If this was a cabinet position, I would call Megan's position of Vice President of Volunteerism the Secretary of Success, because we know that without our volunteers, we could not be successful. And Megan, thanks for all the work that you do, and I'll turn it over to you now.
Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate those very kind words. That notion of Secretary of Success really is something that is spread to all of you who are part of this conversation today. And Tia, I hope you have the chance to really look at all these squares on your screen with all the boxes of people who want to be here and be part of this celebration, the comments in the chat from people who were not able to join perhaps in person, but wanted you to know how happy they were for what you are doing as a leader within Rhode Island. And you know, this is a day that is something that we are honoring Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus's name through the opportunity to provide this award to you. And there's a quote from Dr. Andrus that begins by saying the human contribution is the essential ingredient. And she continues on to say, it is only in the giving oneself to others, that we truly live. And I have to believe, quite honestly, Tia, that you are living a life where you can say, I have truly lived. And as your friend and colleague, I know that I have enjoyed being on this journey with you. Our paths crossed initially with the National Retired Teachers Association and Rhode Island Teachers RTA, and has continued to blossom where we've crossed paths again through the Volunteer Leadership Institute, where you were one of our early members and a participant there, and in recognition of your incredible skills. And it has also continued to grow as you've taken on the leadership role with the chapter advisory team and really been someone who in the East region has made a difference by bringing people together. And my colleague Sharon Stewart also knows that she would not be able to be half as successful with the outreach that we're trying to provide to our chapters across the country without the commitment that you and so many of your fellow volunteer leaders have brought to the chapter advisory team. As John was saying, when you talk about the role of volunteers and the difference that it makes for AARP, it really is priceless. Any other organization would die to have the opportunity to work with people as talented as you, Tia. There is just no doubt that you are part of this amazing energy of people who are willing to share their time and talents with us. And that has been the secret sauce, so to speak, of AARP as we reach across the state of Rhode Island into community after community, where we've been able to use your energy and insight and quite frankly, magnetism oftentimes to bring more volunteers on board to truly make a difference. And that is what makes AARP different, is that we have been able to work with individuals like yourself and like so many of you on the phone, all of you on the phone, who are willing to step up and work toward these shared priorities to make life better for those over 50 and their families. AARP has a phrase that we're a wise friend and a fierce defender. And I think, Tia, when I know you and the attributes that you have, you pursue the issues that really matter and you jump in, you always have. And that is what makes the difference for AARP, is that we have nearly 60,000 volunteers across the country who could be doing anything with their time and choose to stay involved and connected to AARP in so many different ways. Our job at AARP is to try to help create the kind of experience that you, Tia, and your fellow volunteers on this call and across the country feel like this is where I want to be. This is the kind of volunteer effort and giving back that I want to be a part of. And that is what made Dr. Andrus so special, is that as a founder of AARP and before that NRTA, so at 63, she founded the Retired Teachers Association. At age 74, she founded AARP and never took a paycheck. She was our first volunteer and maintained that role. She held up the notion of the power of volunteers, people who were willing to speak out on behalf of not only AARP, but most especially the people we represent, not doing it for a paycheck, but doing it out of passion and drive and concern. You, Tia, have done that so many times for the benefit of all your fellow Rhode Islanders. You've brought your skills to even a larger audience through the Volunteer Leadership Institute when you interacted with other volunteer leaders from across the country. And of course, through your chapter advisory team role, where you're able to help harness the power and interest and needs and opportunities of chapters across the East and Caribbean region. So I want to say thank you so much, Tia, and to your lovely husband who shared you with all of us, that you have helped us live out Dr. Andrus's words, that the fact that the human contribution is the essential ingredient, and that it is only in the giving of oneself to others that we have truly lived. I salute you and thank you for a life well lived and for helping us carry on Dr. Andrus's legacy of the power of volunteers, how they can really help us all move forward together to a better world. So I'll throw it back to all of you and thank you so much for letting me be part of today's celebration for Tia.
Oh, thank you. Those are such kind words, and they are such powerful words. It's really the power behind everything that we do. And this is a day, Megan, for all volunteers. It's a celebration of all the work that we do together, but we do focus on one person. And Tia, in your honor today, we put a little photo tribute together. So Wayne, if you're ready, let's see Tia in action.
I'm getting there. Hang on one second.
Okay. Here we go.
You finished writing, if he finished writing it, we can.
Okay, John.
Okay. Thank you, Wayne.
You're welcome.
There were a lot of people that brought up some great memories among those photos. And Ann Gardella, it's so great to see you here today. We miss you so much. I just wanted to say that. So that brings us to Phil Zarlingo. And Phil, most of you know, some of you don't. has really been at AARP Rhode Island with Kathleen from the start. He also served as national board president for AARP and currently is our state volunteer president. I always enjoy introducing Phil to make a few brief comments. Sometimes they're brief. I know they will be today. So Phil, if you are ready, take it away.
Thanks a lot, John. I really have this great honor of familiarizing everybody who doesn't know about Tia's great contributions to AARP and other organizations. But first of all, John, I want to add to what you said about Megan Hookey. She indeed is an executive vice president at AARP. And I can assure you from personal experience that she, in fact, is the heart and soul of volunteerism in AARP. It's great to see you, Megan. I'm so happy you were able to make it.
Phil, I feel obligated because I didn't give Megan's full title, and I think it's very significant and very thought out. She is Executive Vice President of Volunteerism, Service, and Voter Engagement. And that's really kind of the trifecta of our success. Those three elements that are reflected in her title. Sorry, but I didn't want to let that slip by.
Oh, no, that's great, John. And Megan, it's great to see you. That slideshow, Wayne and John, that was really great. That was because it showed our Tia in action. She's always in action, always doing things, but that one really captured her in a whole bunch of widespread activities. I think most of you know that Tia is a professional educator. She has been a teacher. She has been a department head at Newport High School. And even before that, she taught in various states and abroad as she accompanied Ken, her naval officer husband, who, by the way, is also a dedicated AARP volunteer on his many military assignments across the globe. When they came back to Rhode Island, Tia really raised their hand, so to speak, and she became president of the Teachers Association of Newport, and she also became a member of the board of directors of the Rhode Island National Education Association, the NEA. And she did a lot on the state level, but she didn't leave out the national level either. Tia became the National Education Association chair of Women and Children's Issues and represented the organization at the UN National Commission on Women. After her retirement, you would have thought that actually she would have slowed down a lot. No way. In fact, that's when she began to intensely volunteer for AARP. First of all, she served for 5 years as president of the Rhode Island Retired Teachers, which is a division within AARP. And she also served as 5 years as president of the AARP Newport chapter. And on top of that, she also served as chair for the AARP Rhode Island State Legislative Committee, which you mentioned, John. That is our lobbying group in the Rhode Island State House and Congress. And under her leadership, many, many good things were passed in our honor. She is also leader of the AARP East Coast Chapter Advisory Team. But she doesn't stop with AARP. In her local community, Tia is a member of the AARP Rhode Island Greater Newport Volunteer Action Team. And she represents AARP Rhode Island at a number of community partner meetings. As a matter of fact, she does an awful lot of work with Darlene when she works in the Newport area. She's also a trustee of the Portsmouth Library, secretary of the NEA, retired Rhode Island chapter, executive member of the Partnership for Families and Children, secretary of Rhode Island PBS, and a sponsor of foreign officers attending the one-year course at the Newport Naval College. Through all of these activities, Tia, just like our founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus, consistently demonstrated concern, courage, and commitment. Concern, first of all, for all people, especially seniors. Courage for helping seniors no matter what the obstacles have been. And commitment to all that's good in society, a value which certainly is essential in this day and age in the United States. There is no one more deserving of all of this great honor and of this Andrus Award for community service. Tia, on behalf of all of the Rhode Island volunteers, and by the way, there's 131,000 of us now, I extend our congratulations on your receiving this coveted and top honor. We are pleased to continue to work with you as a volunteer side by side and advocate together on behalf of the age 50 population. Tia, our best to you.
Thank you, Phil. Great job. And thank you for the work that you do. Phil is so engaged with every aspect of our work. He is there. He has shared so much wisdom and support for every little thing that we do. Phil has an interest in, and we can't thank you enough, Phil. Thank you. There's an old cliche behind every great woman, and I hate cliches, but this one's been used a lot, but it's still true. Behind every great woman, there's a guy named Ken.
Hey.
And so Ken is here now with a few words, and then he will introduce the woman of the hour. Ken, take it away.
Okay, yeah. Well, good morning to all of you. And I think the benefit of having this award presentation as a Zoom is that so many people can participate from far distances, as you could never do in the past. And I especially want to welcome our Dutch friends who are all the way in the Netherlands participating in this award ceremony this morning. We sponsored them last year and they were a fantastic family, and we intend to stay in touch with them. I had the great satisfaction of nominating my wife, Tia, for the AARP 2020 Andrus Award. Now, you might think it's unusual that a husband would nominate his wife, but living with someone for 58 years, I was acutely aware of her conscientious attitude, her sense of fulfilling her responsibilities. And many mornings I would awaken wondering where my coffee was and find her at the kitchen table at the computer, entering data for applicants for Child and Family Services, or writing up the minutes for a meeting where she served as secretary. There were also many occasions when I drove her to meetings and sometimes volunteered alongside of her. Now, Tia has always demonstrated a genuine interest in serving others, and she is willing to devote much of her time to do that. She especially enjoys volunteer positions where she has person-to-person contacts with others, such as lobbying at the State House, person-to-person contacts with others on the telephone during this COVID time. There are shut-ins who want to stay in contact with people, and even acting as a greeter for some of the AARP events or other events. For years after retiring from teaching and her role with the NEA union, she continued to receive calls from people seeking answers to issues and problems. They knew she was retired, but her reputation for being a good listener and a willingness to investigate issues and provide feedback gave the callers confidence. I have witnessed how much time she spends in service and have heard people comment upon her dedication and willingness to serve organizations. How true that is. So now I have great satisfaction in presenting my wife Tia as the AARP 2020 Andrus Award recipient for the state of Rhode Island. And I think she has a few comments. Tia?
Thank you. Well, good morning, and I feel so honored that so many of you have joined us at the Zoom event. It's something that I've always admired of people who work so hard for AARP, for the issues for those of us that are over 50, which I am. But although we can't really meet together, we can't touch each other too much. We don't have an opportunity to be.
Good morning, Mayor. You want to take it into the other room?
Oh, okay.
TV.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened, but anyway, so I'm going to keep talking then. And I would say that being an AARP volunteer is a very large part of my retired life that I have now. And I appreciate, as I was starting to say, that you took time to listen to some of the things that went on in my life previously and are now actually as well, and that you were willing to share some time to honor me via the Zoom organization type of work. It is really wonderful to have a husband who supports you for 58 years, and he's been like that. Many of you have seen him, in fact, as I slip him along with me, say, come on, let's go, let's do this. And he's just been absolutely great. Not only has he been wonderful in support, but also the people nationally. Sharon has been just a great person, and Megan, I've known them now for quite a long time, and I appreciate that they came forward and said a few things as well. And Phil I've known for a long time, and as it was said twice now, he has been the president of the state here. And not only has he been a wonderful leader, he's also been a great friend to myself and to Ken. And we, you and I and everybody else that are AARP members are fortunate to have an absolutely wonderful staff. You've heard their names before and you've probably met them. Our leader, our top leader is Kathleen Connell. And I first got to know her. Ruth and I were busy in our teaching during this time, and Kathleen, was the nurse during this time. So we've known ourselves a long, long time. And now, of course, she is the person responsible for what's going on at Rhode Island. We have Rochelle Jennings, which is, for those of you that know her, the person that you turn to. We have John Martin. As you can see, he is a wonderful person, and he is busy to go out and tell everybody what is going on at AARP and letting the state and the East and the national know that AARP and its volunteers work very, very hard. It's an extraordinary group. Darlene, I have got to know quite well, both Ken and myself. And we are fortunate to have a new director whose name is Matt Nito, and he will be taking over the responsibilities that John Timosazar had for many years and who we miss. I want to applaud them and thank them for having this particular type of recognition for me, which is absolutely wonderful. I've seen so many friends, and I applaud those that are giving me some time to be with them. It's been a unique event, and I'll never forget it. And I thank all of you that took time out to honor me and to reflect on some of the things that have happened in my life. Thank you. I'm going to turn it back. I don't know to whom.
John Martin.
To John.
Okay, Tia, tremendous. Let's all, we'll be opening up the mics in just a moment or two. I wanted to acknowledge our colleague, John DiTomaso, who's joined us on the call this morning, and also who's zoomed in this morning, past presidents Alan Neville and Vin Marzullo. So thank you for joining us. And for the record, I tried to clarify Megan's title, and I said that she was, her title was Executive Vice President, Volunteerism Service, and I said voter engagement. Of course, I meant volunteer engagement. I wonder why I have voter engagement on my mind. It must be something I ran across in the news or something. Tia, congratulations. We're really enjoying this time with you. And to add some more joy to this time, I would like to reintroduce Susanna Laramie. Susanna?
Thank you. It's wonderful hearing all of these tributes to Tia, well-deserved, Tia, and hearing your remarks. And Ken, you are so special too, and to hear your remarks and all of the support you've given her is really amazing. So it's really wonderful to hear. So the last piece I'm going to play is, it's called Saw Light, and it's with a P-S-A-L-L-I-T-E, and it's from the same suite that I just performed the other piece by Franz Liszt. This piece, as opposed to being a Provençal folk song, this one is an Old English folk song that he has incorporated into this piece. So again, not like a usual bombastic Liszt kind of sound, but more, I think more childlike because the dedication to his granddaughter. So this is Saw Light. Congratulations. Thank you.
Susanna, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a wonderful addition to our program, and thank you for the kind words that you shared. Suzanne was actually on one of our Zoom coffee chats, and it was very, very much enjoyed. We'll have to have her back again with her colleague, Suzanne, I'm sorry, the vocalist.
Trevor Neal.
That's right. That was delightful. And, you know, Darlene's Zoom coffee chats are monthly and just one of the many virtual offerings that we have. Pardon me going into promotional mode, but we have a lot of great virtual opportunities and you can find those on our website at aarp.org/RI. And there's a new monthly listing page. And we just have had, you know, so much fun connecting with people online during this time. You know, I sort of have this feeling that a benediction is required here, and I don't know if I can really provide one, but I do know this. We love our volunteers, and we hope that you are safe and can connect with those that you love in this holiday season, and that we see you again very, very soon. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to open the mics now. You can chat it up with Tia and each other and enjoy some social time together. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, John. Okay.
Feel free to unmute your mics.
Congratulations, Tia. We're very proud of you. Feliciteerd.
Ah, I see your niece.
Sherry Walsh in Chicago.
But you-
Sherry, welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Diane.
Diane finally got connected too. Good.
Yeah. But there.
And Connie Key